Hi guys, I wanted to come to you today to let you know about why I've been gone for the last 9 months. There's a new surprise for you too. But I'm doing this not for pity, for people to feel sorry for me. I'm just doing it to let you all know what has been going on. So let's back up to September 29th when it all started, and it has not come to a conclusion. But I had got up and was getting ready for, I want to say breakfast, but it's for work. I guess I was going to go to breakfast too, but eat breakfast. But I noticed there was something on me when I was coming out of the shower, and I was like, what is this? How do you get dirty in the shower? I finally figured out where it was coming from. It was coming from the left side over here. So I immediately got into my primary doctor. They sent me on to a mammogram, an ultrasound, a MRI, and they couldn't figure out exactly what it was. So they sent me on to a surgeon. She comes in and says it's 4 to 5 millimeters, and if you're American and you don't know what that means, because I did not know what that meant, I had to come home and look it up on a frickin' ruler because I wasn't asking. It's about 1/4 of an inch. She said it's 45 millimeters, and it's towards the top of the skin. I don't know what that means. I know it's towards the top of the skin. It's not down deep or anything, but she goes, I don't know if I can hit it just right to get enough of a biopsy. You're going to have that fixed, so let's go ahead and just do that. 12 years prior, I had had another surgery on the other side because they found something, and it came up that there was nothing wrong with it. So fast forward on to, I think it was November 1st. It was the day before the elections, all I know. It was a Monday, and it was the day before the election. I think that was November 1st. I had the surgery, and then about 2-3 days later, it was an outpatient surgery. 2 or 3 days later, I had complications, and I went into the doctor, and they had to drain some stuff, and I said, do you know what my results was? And she said, yes. She goes, well, you don't have cancer, and I could automatically hear a but in that statement. She goes, but you have something called atypical lobular hyperplasia. And I was like, what is that? She's like, well, we'll explain it in your post-op, but don't Google it. Yeah, right. So typically they don't find hyperplasia unless you have something that happens like I did, because it doesn't show up on any of the tests. The only reason this one did is because the cells got out of control and started causing the discharge. And so if I had not gotten it fixed, or had sat in there for a while, it could have turned into cancer. So it's like a pre-cancer is what they were telling me. It wasn't pre-cancer, but it's like a pre-cancer to pre-cancer. I don't know. I still ain't figured it all out. So, I go home and immediately Google it. Well, first I look up how many millimeters that is, and then I Google. And, I freak out, and, for the next couple days until I can find out what, we're going. I understood what I was up against. So when I went in, she put me on tamoxifen, which is an estrogen blocker, which I knew from reading. My mother had breast cancer at 65, and she had another close family member that had breast cancer. So I knew that I was already setting a 20% chance of breast cancer in my lifetime. With the hyperplasia sitting on top of it, that threw me up to 50%, because hyperplasia is a 30%. So you add the 20 and the 30 and you get 50%. So she put me, I'm now in a high risk category. I don't have the BRCA gene. I did go to a geneticist, almost said a genealogist, a geneticist, and they said I do not have the BRCA gene. But, so she put me on a schedule of every 6 months. 6 months I'll do an MRI. The next 6 months I'll do a mammogram and then an MRI. So I've gone through my first one in April. But after I'd had my surgery with this doctor, a couple months later, when we were waiting to get to the first 6 months, she sent a letter and said she was shutting down her practice. Thank you. So I have to go look for another surgeon. So luckily she gave me some names to go and try to get to know the surgeon. So I got the first mammogram done. It came back clean. And she told me, she goes, I'm going to talk to you like you've never been talked to before. And so she told me exactly the same thing. And I asked her, I said, would you do a mastectomy, a double mastectomy, because of this? And she said, let me tell you. She said, if you just had hyperplasia, I would say no. I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't recommend it. But the fact that you're sitting at 50%, you're high risk. The fact that your family history is huge, with 2 people in direct line of me having it. 2 things have already grown, and I haven't had kids. So she said, I would definitely do it. If you want it, I will do it. So now the decision is, do I want to go the rest of my life every 6 months coming up to, is it going to be this time that it's going to happen? And no, I did not go past my 12 months because of the virus of not getting, I didn't even make it to the 12 months. I wasn't supposed to have a mammogram until December. So, and it was at the end of September that the problem showed up. So it wasn't like I missed anything. And please, with this virus, do not delay anything. You don't know what can happen. So, I have been having to go, I've gone to a therapist, I've gone to a plastic surgeon, I've gone to the geneticist. I know what I'm up against on that side if I plan on doing that. So do I want to go every 6 months and take a gamble? I'm not a gambling person. I'm not a betting person. I've already had 2 things growing. My family history is not good. I've got this hyperplasia. Things aren't on my side, I'm thinking. So, but having the mastectomy is also another life-changing deal. But I'd rather live than, what I would be up against, what happens after you have the mastectomy. So, that threw me into a funk. And, so, go back to after I had had my surgery. When my parents passed, they passed within 3 weeks of each other. And apparently I can't do anything, I can't handle just one major thing. I've got to have 2 major things thrown at me at all times. I guess that's the way God helps me get through things, is for me to have 2 things to deal with them at the same time. I'm not real sure why it works that way. So about 2 weeks after I had found out about my diagnosis, I was sitting here and Charlie got up on the couch and I was petting him, and he started slinging his head. Like when I would touch his ears, like I would, pet his head. So I took him to the vet. Oh, nothing's wrong with him. So about a week or so later, he was still slinging his head, but then he got to where he was sneezing, and then he got to where he just didn't feel good. So I take him back to the vet, And they come out and they're like, well, he has a massive infection in his ears and he has a respiratory infection. I'm like, I brought him here 2 weeks ago. You told me, I think it was a week or two, I don't know, I can't remember now, that he didn't have anything. Now he has all of this. So we were about to get into it. And because they were trying to like blame me, and I'm like, dude, I've already had him in here and you're the one that told me nothing was wrong with him. So I spent over $1,000 on Charlie. I had tests run on him. We had all kinds of medications, shots, everything. And Charlie just was not getting any better. He was just getting worse. He was getting pitiful. He was 18 years old. And so one morning I was like, he got to where he was just throwing up. And so I took him to the vet that morning, and they come back out and they said, you're going to have to start giving him intravenous fluids. I don't know that I said that right. Every 2 days. Well, first off, me and Charlie didn't get along pilling him. I usually got bit or scratched. I tried to give him penicillin. The first time I tried to give him penicillin, I had to take a bath after it. I had to rub his fur down. And I redecorated the whole bedspread in there. So I could see where this crap show was going. I was going to be the one that took the fluids. So I was like, I'm not sticking him. I'm not doing that to him. And they're like, well, you can bring him in every 2 days. Every 2 days. And I said, it's too cold out here. I mean, it was freezing. And I'm not going to get him out. He wasn't used to that. He was 18 years old. He's sick. It's time that I let him go. I have to let him go. So, on December 8th, I let him go. And I knew that this was going to be a difficult decision. Way back 8 years ago when my parents passed, that when I lost him, it was going to be a big deal. I knew that. It's been me and Charlie for the last 8 years. And so I didn't want to keep him around just for selfish reasons. He did not feel good. He was not doing good. So I told him to let him go. I told him I loved him. And I was letting him go because he was sick. And I wasn't keeping him around for selfish reasons. In doing that, I lost the last thing that connected me to my parents of this is what we had together. I don't have brothers and sisters. I don't have children. It was just me and my parents and their 2 cats. I lost the first one a year after they passed because he had a tumor in his lung. So it was me and Charlie the last 7 years. And I love that cat, and I had done everything that I possibly could. I put myself in financial trouble, not trouble, but I racked up bills because of his medicines, because of doctor bills, and I would do it all again today. I would do it right now if he was doing well enough that it wouldn't be a burden to him. But it was. So I had to let him go. So that was a double whammy right there. So I'm going through this new disease that I have, that I found out that I am going to have to make this huge life decision. And right in the middle of it, Charlie goes. And even better than that, it was when Charlie went, he went, I hope my makeup's not everywhere. He went between the 3-week period that my parents went in. So, I was already grieving that. I do every year. I grieve my parents in that 3-week period. It's always a downtime. So, I was going to try to put off getting another cat until I got the surgery. I wanted another Siamese. And I was going down, and I was going down fast. And from the 7th. And I was around here, I was depressed, I was bawling, it was not pretty. And I knew I was getting in a bad place. And so finally, I did, 14 days later, I got another cat. And I don't know where he's at now. I'll have to do another video to let you know about him. He was... Hey. He must be in the garage. I'm not really sure where he's at. But I do have another cat. So that is what I have been dealing with. I'm going through another phase of, because it's getting closer to the October MRI, coming up with the decision, am I going to do this, am I not, what am I going to do? I had it set that this is definitely what I'm going to do, and then every once in a while my mind gets to thinking and I start going back and forth. I have to have a definite answer before this happens. So, as long as it comes back clean, I can always throw it out another 6 months. But I don't want to get any older and have to do that. I would like for this virus to get better, but it doesn't seem to want to get better. I am vaccinated because I have a severe case of germ OCD to start off with. So for those of you that have been around here, you all know I've had all kinds of crazy problems with that. And I would not be able to still leave my house. And even now, with this new variant, I definitely wouldn't leave my house if I wasn't. So for me, it was the best choice. And that's just, I know that if I went to had to have surgery, I would probably be okay. But if my immune system is compromised because I have a major surgery, I don't want to get it. So I'm trying to throw it out there just as far as I can, as long as everything is clean and coming back clean. I'm still in that decision. I didn't know if I was going to come back to YouTube. I had got to that point that I didn't care about anything. I always pull back from the world. That's when I did with my parents. I pulled back for 15 months with them. That was before I even started my YouTube channel. And then now I've pulled back 9 months. And again, from life, just at home, just in my own little world, dealing with things. I have had some people ask me, do I still have a P.O. box? Yes, I do. At one point, I was thinking about shutting it down and my channel, and I did take it off my videos, and that's how close I got to, I'm not going to do this anymore. But yes, I do. I will put it back. Also, thank you for all your thoughts, your concerns, and everything. I didn't even realize I could put up that little paragraph that I put up last week in the feed. I didn't realize that I had the ability to do that. So I knew other people did, but I didn't know if I had the right amount of subscribers to do it, and you have to dig around in there to find it, or I did. So, that's what's been going on with me. I'm sorry that I haven't been here in 9 months, but dealing with this has not been fun. So I will do, I'm almost to 20 minutes, I will do another video on my other cat. and some other videos about my new YouTube channel and what I'm going to do. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.